just knowing that you're buying a Berkshire pig, purebred, is going to ensure that you're going to be buying a pig of higher quality than what you would if you bought a commodity crossbred pig. And that's not opinion driven, that's science driven. It's based on literally decades and decades of research on collecting marbling scores and coloring scores and tenderness scores of meat, things that we measure frequently, the entire breed too, not just this farm. And we use that data, and that's how we selected Berkshire pigs to start with. And we maintain that data, and then we look at the variation that could exist within the breed to make our breeding decisions on the sows and gilts that we have and the boar lines that we cross them with to make a superior product.
As I think back through the years, my husband went to England in the late 80s to learn more about confinement operations. And while he was in England, he saw these little domed huts, much like the same type of hut that we have here. And instead of learning about confinement operations, he visited those farms and decided that our move back to our birthplaces was where we wanted to come back, bring our kids and raise them here. And the climate was wonderful for outdoor pasture hog production. So anyway, we done that. We moved back here in 1991, brought our 4 children, and it provided a good life for us. It instilled a great work ethic in my children, and so it's always been a family operation, and we hope to keep it that way for many more years. So
we're very unique in the way that we do our business, and we're extremely rare, I would say. And probably the highlight has been getting to meet so many of the end consumers, the chefs and clients that we have from all over the United States, and they come here and we get to, the full transparent story. We get to show them what we do, how we do it, the reason that we do it, and we share that. And a lot of farming doesn't get the advantage that we get, where you have the, from farm to plate, literally the farm to plate connection. So I would say my fondest memories and the things that I enjoy the most are whenever we get to share that with the end consumer.
My name is Daniel Holzman. We're sitting at my restaurant, which is the Meatball Shop. We're at our location on Bedford Avenue. The Meatball Shop is a restaurant that sells a variety of meatballs, meatballs in every form. So, here we go. This spicy meat sauce is made from the fattier trim that we get. So, where, again, pigs are kind of rather Rubenesque animals. There does become a question, at some point, you can only pack so much delicious flavor into a meatball. But the richer, fattier cuts get ground and get put into spicy meat sauce, which really makes it, let's say unctuous. I would say that it is, I would say that they are indulgent. They're indulgently delicious.
Yeah.
I think it's so important to be able to make that physical connection. You hear, in this business, you hear the pitch, you hear the stories, but the difference between having some salesperson tell you what a great thing this is, what a great farm this is, versus getting to go and see it for yourself and recognize, okay, yes, this is a small family farm. There are people here who really care about what they're doing with a lot of integrity, and be able to bring it back and say, hey, with certainty, I can say that this is happening, and I can see the connection. I understand the steps that it goes from, you know, the field through each of the people who handle it till it gets to my doorstep, so that I know that what I'm getting is what is being sold to me.
So this great question of, you know, if you have this goal of this like holistically positive business, how do you incorporate, or how does it start from the food that you purchase? And for me, in my position as a chef, that's kind of like the most basic, maybe the most important. Everything starts with the food. The quality of the product that you put out starts with the quality of the product that you that you purchase.
Introduce myself like a normal. I'm going to reintroduce myself.
Oh, good.
My name is Joe Tarasco, and I'm the executive chef at Marta.
I'm Nick Anderer. I'm the chef and managing partner of Marta and Maialino. They're two Italian restaurants here in New York City.
Marta is a restaurant inspired by the Roman pizzerias, the late night jaunts that serve the crackly crusted Roman style pies. But more than anything, Marta is inspired by live fire. We have a large 9-foot wood burning grill, and our 2 wood burning pizza ovens allow us to cook great Italian fare over live fire.
All right, so here we have a big, beautiful Newman's pork chop. We get this chop from the one whole pig we get in every week from Newman's farm. And this is maybe one of my favorite things to cook here, because at Marta, we're not just a celebration of Roman style pizza, but we're cooking over live fire the whole way through. We've got pizza ovens for pizza, but we've got this big, beautiful grill for cooking everything from vegetables to proteins, and this is definitely the most dramatic thing coming off of the grill is this 38-ounce double bone pork chop. I mean, as we're looking at it, before it even goes on the grill, you can see you get this beautiful deep red color to the flesh. It's marbled. There's so much fat going on, and like that's really what makes like a beef ribeye such a prized piece of meat, because that's where the flavor is. And so everything that the Newmans are doing to this pig is putting it in a position to be tasty, and all that fat is really helping that. But when it comes down to the guest experience and what it's like for the guests at Marta to have this pig, you can just tell, because there's a depth of flavor and a character that comes from not just the fat and the flavor of the pig, but all of that smoke and the wood that like really gets to penetrate, and it's held there by that big fat cap, and it's an unmistakable flavor.
I mean, it is about the quality of the food, providing an awesome experience. But if there isn't, you know, substance behind it, oftentimes you find that kind of quality wanes, and that your experience just isn't as fulfilling. So working with guys like this, it's just it brings it all back into perspective about what you're doing on a daily basis. I mean, we're trying to feed people good things, and this is definitely a good thing he's got going on out here.
We picked Berk's one because of their ability to lay down fat. They have a lot of subcutaneous fat or fat on the outside. They have a lot of intramuscular fat or marbling on the inside. That is going to drive 100% of the flavor of pork over time. The next thing that we're going to look at is color. And whenever I talk about color, what is the one thing that you should look at when you select pork on color? And that is to say, darker is better. Redder is better.
I've been working with Patrick from Heritage since Patrick started Heritage Foods' first year, and you know, the meat industry is really screwed up in our country, and it's very hard to have a direct connection with the farmers that provide the meat that we use. That's changing because of people like Patrick that are literally setting up a system where there's one person in between the farmer and the chef. In some utopian ideal, I could go and meet my own farmers and deal directly with them. And if I could, you know, Patrick would probably support that, because that's maybe one step better. But ultimately, Patrick's goal is to connect chefs with farmers, because when you connect a chef with a farmer, the farmer understands that somebody appreciates a better quality, and the farmer will then produce that better quality, which the chef is willing to pay more for, and there are less middlemen, so there's more money to the farmer. There's better quality ingredients. It's a pretty simple concept, but up until now, it hasn't been practiced.
They're working really hard to keep improving, and I think commodity pigs really rely on finding something that works and then just trying to keep repeating it over and over and over again. But nature's always evolving on its own, so a heritage product like this is harkening back to maybe the past, but it's also really providing a good foundation for our future.
The quality in our business trumps quantity, and that's what we believe in. It's what we're passionate about, because if a consumer doesn't come and eat our product, if they pay a premium for that product or not, if they don't eat our product and have an enjoyable eating experience, they won't return. Regardless of our story, they won't come back and eat it again. So we want to be sure that we're delivering a consistent eating quality product every time, and that's why we do what we do. Is that fair enough? That's the story.
We're gonna